On the next, so repeat previous topic, lamina tecti with colliculi superioris, inferioris, brachium colliculi inferioris, superioris, and here as well. Pedunculi cerebellaris superioris, medii, and inferiors here. Fossa rhomboidea with a stria medullaris. Okay, and here we see the as well posterior view of the thalamus. As the thalamoencephalon has three parts: thalamus, metathalamus, and epithalamus. The thalamus part is the thalamus with the border with nucleus caudatus. Between them we have stria terminalis, which borders nucleus caudatus and thalamus. This upper surface of the thalamus is free as the medial surface here. So, as I mentioned in the previous slide, the two medial surfaces of the thalamus, two medial free surfaces of the thalamus, forms third ventricle lateral walls. These upper surfaces of the thalamus forms the inferior wall of the central part of the lateral ventricle. Because lateral ventricle lies here above the thalamus, and this is the central part. Better, easier to understand this will be when we'll see the natural brain. So, next we have between the medial here and upper surface, we have stria medullaris thalami. From those stria medullaris thalami, posteriorly we have trigonum habenule here. From the trigonum habenule arise two habenule fusing here and forming commissura habenularum, where the epiphysis attached to this commissura habenularum. So triangle, habenule, and commissura when two habenule fuses together, and corpus pineale or epiphysis lies between both colliculi superioris. This part we call epithalamus. And the metathalamus we have on both sides here, which is represented by two subcortical centers, subcortical center of the vision and hearing. Corpus geniculatum laterale of the vision, and inferiorly corpus geniculatum mediale of the hearing. So, this is how looks the diencephalon part, thalamus, epithalamus, and metathalamus from the posterior view. And what is this organ?
Cerebellum.
This is cerebellum. Now we have the, we touched the next part of the diencephalon. Let's go back and see this. We have described now this part, thalamus, with epithalamus, epiphysis. And between both thalamus, here we cannot recognize that from the medial between both medial surfaces, we have the communication between the thalamus, the frontal plane plate, which connects both medial surfaces of the thalamus. This is adhesio interthalamic. Where is it? Here we cannot see that when we do the sagittal section. Then we see the view, this view, and here is the thalamus, and this is adhesio-interthalamica. Both thalamus are connected by adhesio-interthalamica. The next part of diencephalon is the hypothalamus. We have pars optica, which will be described a little later. Then we have the next part of the hypothalamus, corpus mammillaria, and regio subthalamica. So, and then we continue with the inferior view with the hypothalamus. Maybe we can start here first, and then we will talk to see the real picture. So with the drawing of the diencephalon, let's repeat about the thalamus. Thalamus we can see here, epiphysis, colliculus superior inferior, aqueductus cerebri, or mesencephaly, mesencephalon, and here we have the thalamus. Hypothalamus. Between both parts, thalamus, hypothalamus, we have sulcus hypothalamicus, which runs from the foramen interventriculare till the aqueductus mesencephalum. Hypothalamus, as we just discussed, pars optica, pars mammillaris, and regio subthalamica here. So that looks on the drawing. What is this one? This is corpus callosum. And how this looks at first, maybe here, talking about the pars optica. From pars optica starts with the which part? Lamina terminalis, in drawing is this part. Upward continues as lamina rostralis and communicates then with the corpus callosum. Anterior part, genu corpus callosi. Then we have here chiasma opticum, the part of the visual way, visual pathway. Then, talking about how this drawing looks from the inferior view as we talk about the pars optica of the hypothalamus. Here we see inferior view of the brain. You recognize the pons, pedunculi cerebri. And here we have optical part of the hypothalamus. We have nervus opticus, which comes from the eyes to the canalis opticus, reaches sulcus prechiasmaticus, where it forms chiasma opticum, and then continues laterally like tractus opticus, curves around the pedunculi cerebri, and connects with two medial lateral parts to the subcortical visual centers. We have three. This is posterior part of the thalamus. We call this part flattened pulvinar. Then the second subcortical visual center is colliculus superior and corpus geniculatum laterale. Very good. That's about the pars optica. Then we have, let's return to the drawing. Here is a cutted chiasma opticum in a drawing. Then we have the, let's start with the corpora mammillarium, mammillary glands. They lie here, paired formation, which is subcortical, center of the smell. Anteriorly, hypothalamus has the next part, tuber cinereum, this part. And here it looks, it's this part. And in the next part we have the extension we call infundibulum with a recessus infundibuli. Those all recessus will be described when we will talk about the ventricles and all the pockets, all extensions into the ventricles we will discuss next time. So, and infundibulum ends with the hypophysis. It's a glandula pituitaria. And here it looks here. Here should be the glandula pituitaria. Here we have infundibulum. How it looks when this same drawing we see on the natural brain. A bit different. So, step by step. Corpus callosum. About corpus callosum, we'll discuss about the topic, about the white matter of the hemispheres, but now we know that corpus callosum anterior part is genocorporis callosi, which terminates as lamina rostralis, rostrum, lamina rostralis, lamina terminalis. Here, this is chiasma opticum, infundibulum, hypophysis is removed, tuber cinereum, and corpus mammillare. Here you see thalamus, medial surface, with adhesio intertalar. Between thalamus and hypothalamus, we see the sulcus hypothalamicus, which goes from here, foramen interventriculare, here to the aqueductus cerebri. Of course, on the natural brains and other organs, some structures we learn theoretically are not very easily recognizable. What is this? This is called lamina tecti with colliculus superior inferior in a sagittal unit. Yeah? And this is pineal gland. Plexus chorioideus with lamina chorioidea epithelialis. About this more next time. This part you recognize. This is mesencephalon, pons, medulla oblongata. So I guess here all the structures now we recognize. So here we have foramen interventriculare. About the see here, about this will be discussed a bit later. The corpora mammillaria, this is the, as I mentioned, subcortical center of the smell, is connected with the cortical smell centers by fornix. By fornix. The white matter. Here we have the fornix, which consists of the columna formicis, two, because we have two corpora mammillaria. We have columna formicis, and here this is columna formicis. It lies deeply into the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, regio hypothalamica is this part. And about the diencephalon, I guess this is how we call this substance between pedunculi cerebri, which is with a small openings. Substantia perforata posterior. Here you see, let's go back. Here we see the sagittal section. We see the fornix goes here. And here we have foramen interventriculare. Here we see third ventricle. Both sides we have foramen interventriculare here. And this is fornix, which goes from the corpora mammillaria below and makes a curve around the thalamus. So this is part of the fornix catheter, of course. And this is foramen interventricular, because here, above the thalamus, we have the lateral ventricle with the central part, which anteriorly continues the anterior cord. We will see all those parts already today. Then you can use your visual memory if those centers are quite developed here. Each person has a different level of the visual memory. Sometimes some has a other type of memory more developed. So if it helps you, you will see that today, and when you will study about the ventricles, then you can go back to your class in your memory, short memory or longer memory, and you will remember how it looks. Then this was about the diencephalon. Any questions about